Okay.
Hey guys, Josh from Solution Base. So we're dealing with what type of system do I have still, and I know this is the same one that I just told you was air conditioning only. I was using that for illustration purposes. This is actually a heat pump system. This is actually a somewhat complicated system. This is a heat pump system with a fan coil setup that actually comes from our boiler. We will get to the fan coil and that stuff in another one, but now I want to go over, especially this one, what a heat pump air handler looks like. And the reason I'm using this one is because it doesn't look like a heat pump air handler. And I want you to understand that as much information as I'm giving you, sometimes they can be tricky. Heat pump air handlers look very similar to an air conditioning only. The big difference between them is usually right here, you're going to see there's two knockouts right here. Normally there would be two breakers here for the backup heating system, which is done by electric. A heat pump air handler is typically going to have two medium size or one very large size electric line going to it and a large breaker. So if you see 8H in your electric panel and it's got a double 60 or a double 100 breaker on it, more than likely that's a good sign that you have a heat pump with an electric backup strip in it. So this one doesn't happen to have that, and the reason that it doesn't is because instead of using electric for a backup, I'm using boiler water for a backup. So I don't need that giant electric line, and I don't need those breakers in the front of the panel. So heat pump operates very much like an air conditioner. It has a reversing valve in the outdoor that basically allows the refrigerant, that's these guys, same as in our air conditioning video, okay, to run in reverse. And in reverse, it then is taking heat from outside, air to air heat pump it's called. It's taking heat from outside. Yes, there is heat in 30-degree air, just less of it. And it is bringing it inside, and it's using some of the action of expansion and compressing to turn that into heating inside the home. I'll try not to get too technical with you. But basically that's what a heat pump is doing. Now, all the things I just said, the backup breaker inside the panel, the breaker on the front right here. These are good indicators that you actually have a heat pump air handler. The number one thing you can do to actually confirm that is go outside, get the model number off of your heat pump condenser, and look up the model number on Google or whatever search engine you like to use, but Google's world. But that's what I would do if you really needed to know. But having a large wire, a large backup strip, turning it on in heating mode, and this thing comes on, there are other ways that will tell you that this is actually a heat pump. It's important to know that you have a heat pump, because if this was air conditioning only, you would only need to get maintenance on this one time per year because it's only running one season. But because it's a heat pump, that means it does heating and air conditioning. That puts you to 2 maintenances a year. And there are some specific things like emergency heat and other things that you would need to know about ownership of a heat pump. And I will make another video about emergency heat and some of the other things that go along with that. Thanks.